Hello, YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. Feeling a little bit under the weather, so if I sound squeaky, groggy, or whatever else, I'm just sort of going through the times of sorts. Been playing a little bit of Saints Row the Third. I gotta say, it's a pretty damn good game. Besides the bugs, because like it literally bricks on you when it comes to those bugs. You have to either start the mission over or do things over again. It's just like, but anywho. What I have in my hands here is a little bit of history of sorts. Now, this is something that, is not too spectacular, but to me, it's something incredibly cool. It's also I'm the big geek, and I'm also very, I like a little bit of flair with my console of sorts. I mean, yes, they're practical. They're supposed to be built just to play video games. They're built on a central emulation board that has a module that allows you to plug in controllers and power it on and emulate a ROM on a cart that processes through your television through some AV cords that go through some freaking crazy RGBA and all that stuff. I probably mispronounced RBGB, but you guys get the point. You did. I think you did. I hope you did. Please say you did, because otherwise I'd be going backwards. But, without further ado, this right here is my watermelon-colored Nintendo 64. Now, what stands this apart from the actual red N64 and all the others is that, well, I love the color of this. It was a little bit pinkish, at the same time it was like a red transparent color, and you could tell it's just, you could see through it to a degree. Little bit dusty. Little bit dusty. But anyway, besides the missing expansion bay cover, we want to go over a little bit of a storyline with the Nintendo 64 and my history. Now, I originally did not fully own an N64. Between me and my brother, he rented N64s, a couple at least, for a while until he essentially bought one. From that point on, we pretty much played it like that. He'd either buy a game every once in a while, or I'd buy a game every once in a while, and, it was like, I think I bought like close to only 2 games, essentially. And, he moved, he took the games with him, and then, something happened in 64. I believe he traded in or he sold it, I can't remember precisely, but, it was a sad tale for me at least. It in some tears, but, been waiting and wanting and hoping for N64. I mean, I got this a while back, so I don't think I just got this recently. I got this, when I did not pay too much at all for it. That's usually when people say that, you kind of think, okay, they spent more than what they just said. But no, I really did not pay anything too much for this at all. It was just the console itself. When I got it, I was excited. However, that was just it. It was just the console. It did not come with the power supply, which is that big hulking thing you slap in the back of here, which, just distributes, nice flow of, electricity to the console, makes console power up and, process your games. And, it has the Super Nintendo style A plug in the back here, so, that it was universal for the N64, GameCube, and Super Nintendo, so, it ran, similar power supplies, at least for the United States. I'm not sure how it was with the Euros and all that. I'm not familiar with those. But, whew, it played games, and that's what was great about it. It had a lot of good wrestling games, a lot of the, arcade-ish style racing games such as Wave Race 64, I mean, even art platformers such as Super Mario 64. All these games tied into a great experience. I mean, also Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie and Conkers. Conkers, is an underappreciated game till now. Of course, everyone's just all ecstatic about it, so now it's, like, expensive. But, again, I digress. It's one of those type of consoles that I look at and say it was the underdog. It was a great console. It had a lot of potential, a lot of possibility, a lot of premise. Sadly, it got ported and published quite a few games that were not very good. At the same time, it had a good library. I think a fair enough library to at least collect for. I mean, yeah, you had, mediocre, if not very good games, such as Duke Nukem 0 Hour. I would flip you off, Creep Boy, but I love you too much to do that. And, games of that particular caliber. I mean, it was like a crapshoot. I mean, either you had a good game in there or not. I mean, you could even argue that about the Super Nintendo or the Genesis, the ColecoVision, all just about having that rough, edges around them. But in this core of it all, always had a good, at least 25 games, I would say, roughly, if not more, that were great games, which I'm going for a collection. Those games I'm picking and choosing, I'm looking at really carefully. Like Doom 64 is actually quite nice. I like that one. I'm going to try to find it in the future. I mean, again, I digress. So, what this video is really about is just sharing with each other. I will try to get us stories between one another here of what is your experiences with your N64s, if you did own one or still own one to this day. I mean, what brought you interested into it, or what made you decide to collect for it, even though you probably weren't interested in it in the past, or you probably were like, it's a Nintendo product, screw it, that type of thing. I mean, either way, what brought you essentially to either own one or made you remember one? I'd have in that element. So leave your comments down below. I'm dying to hear what you guys have to say, and as always, I'm gonna go slam my head into a pillow because I am drowsy. Oh man. Touch my nipples, please. Just check my temperature. Check it.